Alright, I'm back. God dang it. Gonna add some metallic bronze to an area down here and then add in a little sepia before I move on to this area, and then I'll probably have to go over this stuff again. But I haven't used this metallic stuff before, so I'm very curious as to how it will work. Actually, I think I'm going to get a little bit more fresh water. Be right back, fool. Alright, so I think what's going on behind her in this picture is it's sort of light coming through a curtain. I don't know if I necessarily want to replicate that, but I actually like the way that it being a JPEG and having been blown up gives you all these weird artifacts and shapes. So, I mean, I might actually try and simulate that to some degree. And you know, I'm a little worried about some of this going on the carpet. Maybe I should get a piece of cardboard to put under here just to be safe. Again, I'll be right back. Back. I got the cardboard, Ma. This is probably just going to give me more opportunity to have some big industrial ink accident here, because my space is actually not very big. All right. Yeah, feel like I'm painting in the circus. Standing on this stool. Actually, I think I know what I'm going to try and do here. One thing about a lot of these, well, one thing about a lot of these metallic paints is when you photograph them or when you scan them, a lot of times the sort of shimmery effect that you get and want with metallic paint doesn't really show up. It might show up as just sort of a gray or brown area, depending on what color you're doing. But this stuff actually looks like it is breaking up in kind of an interesting way. Whoops. Yep, I just spilled. Luckily though, it's not on the floor. It's only on my table. Too much crap going on at once. Now I'm going to splatter some paint and try and break it up and soften up some of these areas. And I think I need more of this yellow. Tie it in with the yellow that's up there. And this will also, one interesting thing is the way colors like yellow, I think, which has some chalkiness in it to make it I guess somewhat opaque, interacts with other colors, creating these interesting rivulets and tendrils and stuff that I've mentioned a few times. Really, what I wanted to break up with the splatter is this gold, this bronze. And if I end up not liking it, then what I'll probably end up doing is covering it up with something else. But there actually are a lot of tiny, at least in the photograph, there are a lot of tiny whitish yellow fine hairs moving through this area that maybe I'll add later. You can, well, you might not be able to see it moving down, but it's the water's moving down and carrying with it tiny remnants, tiny pieces of that bronze. Sometimes I tend to go overboard on the spatter. This is a fact I know. So, you know, sometimes I'll just move the board back and forth, letting stuff flow into one area and then back to another area. But I'm getting some interesting little rivers of yellow here. That's kind of nice. Not necessarily what I envisioned, but sometimes those accidents are good. My command of the English language is very good, super good. Huge vocabulary. Believe me. This is where the danger is of knocking, like I almost did just now, knocking a bottle over into something. Not what you want to do. I wonder if that's not getting in the picture. Oh. What the hell? I always like to say thanks very much for anyone that stops by, number one, and comments, number two, and shares, which is a really great thing to do, because I'm not going to necessarily be reaching everyone that I would like to reach. So sometimes people that you guys know that don't know me will, if you share. But I always appreciate comments and stuff. Makes me, you know, not feel like I'm doing it in a vacuum. Okay, while that's drying, I think I want to put some up there, some of this gold, bronze, whatever you want to call it. And then I'll end up going over it with the hair that's here. This is where I gotta be a little careful, because I want this stuff to go this way, not this way. But this stuff I want to go in that direction. A little bit get too much splatter, my friend. Although I doubt that anyone will notice it once I'm all done with this. There's going to be so much going on. I have to make some major decisions once I get into the arms and stuff, what I want to do color-wise. If I want to hold with this violet for the shadows or something else. But this stuff's cool down here. Hopefully it doesn't distract too much from this. But once this all dries, I'll be adding some stuff on top of it, so hopefully it'll be pushed into the background somewhat. I think I can add a little bit more of this bronze and sepia stuff in another corner, and then I might have to let it dry for a little bit. Oh, see, I gotta watch that up there. Don't want to have too much of that over there. Just don't want it to get out of control. But I want to get some flow here. So I'm just watching a couple areas at once to make sure there's not too much action somewhere else. Okay, I got another phase done that I have to let dry, or I dried the last bit with blow dryer to some degree, so I might do that again depending on how much I want to take a break or not. So thanks again for watching for this little bit. Unfortunately, I got to take this off to hit the finish.